Today we have our guest Eero Ettala, who's a professional snowboarder, a good friend of mine, and we started about the same time, and he's been racking some serious video parts ever since, non-stop. So welcome, Eero. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Cool.
Stoked to be here.
How's your summer been?
Summer's been fairly mellow. I had two kind of small knee surgeries. It was more of a knee scope, so it took me out for like 3 weeks in end of May, and then another 3 weeks in October now. So I'm kind of getting back in the business now. I've been playing a little bit badminton and skate a couple times, but I should be pretty good for the season.
Sounds good. So it's through challenges to victory, like.
Yeah, I think that's how it is. I mean, ever since my first ACL surgery on the right knee, it was kind of like it never really felt that good,
Yeah.
So it's been like a never-ending process trying to get it as good as possible for being able to snowboard still and do stuff that I like. And I can still use it 100%. I can do stuff 100%, but it still kind of bugs me a little bit,
Yeah.
But it's like I guess that's life, and that's how snowboarding is, I think it's really rough for your body, and you gotta be mentally and physically strong to be able to take all the beating when you're actually getting older, I guess.
Yeah. That's definitely true for most people, that you get to that point where you have your first injury, and then that's kind of the test if you are a real professional, because that's when you need to get over the fears that come along or whatever, and get back to it, and even get to the next stage. And I mean, you've been I can't seem to remember that you'd had a bad video part in the past decade. From my point of view, of course, we always push ourselves to do better, but you really been able to come out of those big injuries and still keep going 100%.
Yeah, I think it's like, well, it's basically that third time that I actually blew my knee out. I was like, when I actually released my video part, and in the end of the video part, like you could, like I would just say something like I blew my knee out again, and there was some like surgery footage and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw some comments on the internet, someone saying like, too bad, he's never gonna come back, because that was his third one already. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna come back, and I managed to come back, and I had one of the best seasons the year after that. I think that just kind of lit the spark again. I just like wanted to prove myself to other people too, and just showing people that I can still be back, 100%, and do stuff that I was able to do.
Mm-hmm.
And and I was actually just looking back to my video parts, and I've had 12 sort of major video parts so far, and every year I actually had my own song and my own video part for 2 or 3 minutes or 4 or 5. Some parts are longer and some are shorter. But
Mm-hmm.
but I've been pretty lucky with that. Few years I actually struggled. I blew my knee out, but I still kept going till the end of the season. I had a surgery in the summer and stuff. So I've definitely done some fighting to get that video part out every year.
Mm-hmm. You have a like you said, it's been a fight and a struggle to get that video part out, but also we talked about earlier before this interview a little bit about what do you think, why have you been able to become so good and keep progressing, and what was it that you think is that quality that has led you to succeed in your sport?
I think I've always trying to be sort of, I wouldn't say at this stage anymore, but I've always been trying to be creative and try to be one step ahead of the other guys, at least trying to come up with this one new thing that no one's really done before, just to show people you could do this on your snowboard,
Mm-hmm.
and that motivates me, and hopefully that inspires other people too, or other riders, so, and I feel like it keeps my riding fresh, and it keeps the kids wanting to see my riding, because they always think that there's going to be something new that they haven't seen before. So I'm already I'm constantly thinking about new stuff that I'm stoked on, and thinking about if the kids would be stoked on what I think they would be stoked on, kind of just I'm not saying I'm doing this for the kids, I'm doing it for myself, but at the same time I've realized, what kind of moves I gotta be doing, that the kids are gonna be stoked on, the kind of for the final product that I'm producing, you know.
So you're really like you're pushing all sides of it. You want to make it exciting and you want to make it progressing not just for yourself but also for the viewers to be excited to watch your stuff. So it's
I kind of like when I watch video parts these days, like I don't like I care about the tricks, you know, but like a lot of times I watch the video, I'm like, damn, you know, that was a cool way to hit that feature, you know. If I saw that feature, I would probably thought about a different way to hit it, you know. So I get inspired by these people that actually like that get creative, you know, because I feel like I'm kind of the same type of dude. So I kind of for the kids I want to show something that really inspires them, and maybe they can come out of the box and think outside of the box and like kind of take their snowboarding to the next level and kind of separate themselves from the other riders on the hill, kind of. You know, that's what I'm always trying to do. It's just like, even it's like not the coolest thing to do, you know, but it's like still do something like a little bit different than the other guys are doing, even if it's like wacky or funny or something, but just kind of like something that separates you from the other guys.
What stands out is that you work really hard. Like we talked about this earlier, and you mentioned that you might not be or haven't been the most talented person, but you really worked hard and you put on that effort, and you actually, to my eyes, you've gained your place in the industry and in your sport and with your skills by doing that, putting in that hard work and being persistent and just like knowing what you want and then going for it.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah, we've been just talking about this. Definitely wasn't, you know, as a kid, you know, I was like, I wasn't the most talented rider on the hill, you know. I would see all these friends that I would ride with that were actually better, you know, but I felt like I would just always put in that extra time to learn something, and when I would actually learn something, I would be like, still wouldn't be satisfied. I would want to learn it like the proper way that I see it. When I see the clip on the video, I'm gonna be like, okay, that was exactly the way I wanted to do it, you know. So I was always ready to put in that extra time to make it better, and I'm still the same way. When I go do something, it's like I'll just work on it as long as I can, that I actually make it happen. And like if it doesn't look good, I'm like still like, even if it's a like gnarly trick or something, it could be like, I don't like the way I do it, you know, so we can't use this, you know, like so I just always try to learn the things that I feel like they look good enough that I can actually put it out, you know. So I feel like I'm just I have a really clear vision in my head always, like how things should look like when I actually perform the trick, kind of, you know.
So you're good at visualizing what you want to do, and I feel like it's like a lot of times, you know, when the new season is starting and it's like, and you start thinking about your new video part already, so I usually have like, let's say 10 or 15 tricks already on my mind, you know, and I'm already the spots kind of figured out, you know, like, okay, this kind of a trick I want to do on this kind of a spot, you know. So that's already kind of like, I feel like half the job is already done when you kind of have a clear vision about your whole video part, how you want it to turn out, you know. So then you just kind of go in and you know what you're going to do already at the beginning of the season, and then you just kind of go into the spot, do it, and move on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, because you want, like, you know, it's kind of how I look at snowboarding. It's just kind of like when you're filming a video part, you need, you know, X amount of wall rides, you need X amount of handrails, urban gaps, powder shots, park stuff, you know, fun stuff. And you kind of start collecting, you know, so you basically just, you know, get one out of the way and then you move on to the next one, and kind of like, you know, like it got to a stage like last year, for example, you know, we hit, let's say, 4 wall rides in the beginning of the season, and then I'm like, all right, like I have enough wall rides, and I feel like the other guys had enough wall rides too, you know, so we should find something else, you know. So I just, I think it's a lot about visualizing and then trying to come up with a good part that has actually like a lot of different kind of snowboarding, a lot of variety, you know, so it keeps the kids excited, you know. Like if you have 30 different wall rides onto one song, it gets kind of boring, you know.
So you're able to keep things fresh, and one of the hardest things is because you see a lot of professional riders that they use their stock tricks that they can do, and they keep doing those same tricks over and over again, whether it's in powder or on rails, but they just keep doing the same stuff. But it's so hard to come up with new tricks, and like you were explaining maybe earlier how every feature is different nowadays. It's not the same thing. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Every rider has their own like stock and favorite tricks. Like I got my front board, which is like the safety trick kind of for me. But so I'm always like every year I'm trying to like figure out like what's the coolest looking obstacle to do the front board on. Because like that's sort of my easy trick. So the obstacle needs to be gnarly, or it needs to be like really creative or cool or just really random looking, so people get excited when they see another front board, because everybody can do a front board.
I mean, yeah, that's cool, because it is easy to keep doing those old tricks, but then like you said, you want to make it creative for yourself and for the audience, and push yourself and not just do the stock stuff. And yeah, it looks like the urban scene is most of the features seem to they have some basics like wall rides, but then the landing might be different. You might be landing on another wall, or
yeah, it's changed quite a bit over the years now, when you got the winch and you got basically endless amount of speed on the streets, so you can basically do whatever you want. So just the way you actually look for spots these days, it's way different than it used to be. Now you actually, like when you're driving a car, you're looking usually up and not down, because like you want to find roof gaps and stuff.
All right.
Yeah. So it's changed quite a bit,
Uh-huh.
but in a good way, because that really inspires me, because like I felt like I was doing sort of the same thing for so many years, and now it's like I feel like it kind of opened my eyes again, and it motivated me to snowboard more, because I feel like I can still progress and get stoked on doing stuff that I haven't done before.
What were when you were a kid, just starting snowboarding? What were your dreams?
I don't know. It's like I don't really remember that much. If I was even like, if my goal even was to make it pro, it probably was. I think I was just like living in a moment and just like really enjoying snowboarding and really enjoying going on the hill and then progressing and learning all the tricks my friends were doing, kind of, just to be part of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like just one day sort of realized that I pretty much made it,
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I remember, I don't think I was like, as a kid, I didn't start snowboarding because I thought it was like I thought it was cool, but it's not like I started snowboarding because I wanted to make it pro and be like cool pro rider,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm not really sure. It's so long time ago.
So it more came about as you were just having fun and enjoying riding.
Yeah, exactly. Like we had a really, really good group of friends that just really liked to hang out together, like those were my friends on the hill, and on the free time it was always the same group of guys, so it's like it just made sense, like to go ride with them, and like we all progressed together, and a bunch of those people actually made it, on that top level, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So having that group kind of pushing yourself and motivating each other was one of the main key things for your progression and for everyone in that group, and just having fun and doing it together and pushing each other.
Yeah, it was definitely like, yeah, that was definitely the biggest part, I think. It was like everybody was definitely having fun, and everybody was really good friends with each other, but at the same time, like, there was a little bit of that, like, just being jealous at each other a little bit, in a good way, because I think that pushed everybody a bit harder. If someone learned a backflip, everybody's like, holy shit, that guy learned a backflip. Like, we got to learn it, he can't be the only one to, like, know how to backflip,
Mm-hmm.
Like, in a good way. It's not like no one, like, anyone hated each other,
Mm-hmm.
So we just, like, in a good way, like, everybody just pushed each other to, like, to get their, like, the most out of their riding, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think if I wasn't in that group that I was riding in when I was young, I definitely wouldn't be in this position now, I don't think.
What were the challenges for you when you were a younger rider? What were the things that were challenging for you?
Well, I was always really nervous at the contests, but